All right, guys, we're going to start with the Euro USD on the daily chart and pretty much see what we're going to have for the first quarter of this year. I was going to make a video previously about the last position that I was taking and wanted to see what the market was going to do way back here when we had this tremendously large move to the upside. And I actually went long somewhere about 1.085 or 855 in this zone right over here. And we had a nice little run up, but of course we had that deep pullback. And the reason why I still held and had a little bit of a drawdown, but it wasn't a big deal because I was looking at this long-term median levels. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I very much into pivot zones and median levels. So it gives me an idea of where the market may look to turn or have a significant move in terms of like what to look for the future trade. So we pulled back here and see that the market found some support. Then we made a nice rally up here. Now that this was towards the end of the year, so there was a median level up here, a short-term median level, and that was a level for resistance. So at one point I was up at about 250 pips. I'm still in this trade all the way back here from November and looking for continuation to the upside. All the way, I'm still eyeing 1.15. So now that we had the new levels coming in for 2024, you can see we had this nice strong pullback. And again, I was still, I still wanted to hold my position. I haven't added any positions yet, but obviously you can see at the main pivot level, the market's finding some support here. It's the beginning of the year, so it's still, pretty much going sideways, not really making any significant moves ups or down. But the good thing is that it's still holding support, and we can see that there's still potential for this market to continue higher. I was potentially looking for it to come down maybe a little bit more and test this area down here. And the reason why is because if I take this tool here, right, not only does it match it up with the previous levels of support, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm not solely looking for previous support levels, but because there's still a long-term median level and there's still a short-term median level right over here for the new year. So if the market came down into this level, I would be open to adding another position coupled with a hidden divergence MACD. MACD, hidden divergence on the MACD. This would probably come a lot lower, and then we'd have equal lows with a lower low than the previous low on the MACD. So if you guys understand what the hidden divergence is, that's usually a trend continuation divergence as opposed to your traditional divergence where the more like this here, where you have a high, market makes a higher high, and then the MACD makes a high, then it makes a lower high, right? So that calls for a regular divergence or, giving you a signal that the market's going to pull back or change in direction. But for now, I'm just looking to see what the market's going to do here. Again, it's still the market's still fresh into the new year, and we want to still see a continuation to the upside, but not showing any main moves coming. Although, so whenever I come across something that's not really going to give me a clear indication of what the market's doing on the daily time frame, I always zoom out maybe on the weekly or on the monthly time frame to give me an idea of what the market's trying to do. So if I come down here and I look for a monthly chart, you can see we had that nice dive, right, for the last from 2021 all the way down to 2022, and the market pretty much came and didn't really do anything. Pretty much went sideways. You can see it's not really, no trend taking place like we have here, but this still gives it a signal that the market is finding some resistance up top. If I move this up here, you can see that the market's been finding resistance for the past year and a half almost, and now it's attempting to look to see if it can break higher than that. And of course, once I look for patterns, so that's how I'm able to dictate what direction I want to look at for the foreseeable future, which whether it's the second quarter, third quarter or the fourth quarter of the year, I look either at the monthly or the quarterly chart, meaning every candle is on a quarterly basis. So I've shared this many times before. Obviously, I don't share it all the time because it's a very long-term chart time frame. So I'm always looking at this falling wedge. You see, it's getting pretty tight down here. So obviously, if those are familiar with falling wedges and how they play out, usually when it's a falling wedge, we get a breakout to the upside. So that's why my long-term view is bullish. And the immediate on the longer term, I'm sorry, on the short term target, I'm looking for 115. But based on this, we may even go into the next year or the quarters coming up, make an attempt and a run up to this previous resistance levels all the way up in January 2018 and October 2020 is a previous resistance up here at 1.2. And if we could draw that out real quick, you can see right over here. And of course, we have a very long-term pivot level right over here that would give us some nice air to take profit if you're looking for a much longer position to hold for the long term. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Just waiting to see what the market's going to do over here on the daily chart. And if we pull back, I'd be looking for this next level here to see if there's going to be some kind of bounce and a continuation, or if we're looking to just consolidate in the zone and then continue to the upside. You can even see for CPI numbers yesterday, there was no significant move. You could see this like pretty much flat. Made a little attempt down, a little attempt to the upside, but at the end of the day, the candle just stood flat, right? So we'll see what happens going into the next week and actually going towards the middle of this quarter. Even though it's January, when you go into February, I would like to see the market all the way up here by 1.11 and start trading up here so that we can start making a push higher for 1.15 up in this zone. So we'll see what happens, and I'll see you guys on the next video.